rotting driftwood on the foreign shores, spilling out into the ocean floor, and the memories all you've left without a trace. Paralyzed with the thoughts receding, current sweeps you with the silent bleeding through the heart into the darkest place. Well, turn around, there's nothing to see here. Run away, no reason to be here. It's the ghost who never goes away. Turn around and leave this behind now. You see the ground as it bleeds in the sky now. You fight the sea, you're always gonna drown. All the secrets that you're holding, all the memories you hide, all the frail thoughts that echo in the corners of your mind, they won't even last a moment. They will soon be swept away when the ocean takes you in its arms and carries you away. You carry all your burdens on the cross around your neck. You take whatever's left that you could salvage from the wreck, and the hard past will follow you like a lost dog on the beach, nipping at your trail till you've drifted out of reach. Yeah, turn around, there's nothing to see here. Run away, no reason to be here. It's the ghost who never goes away. Turn around and leave this behind now. See the ground as it bleeds to the sky now. You fight the sea, you're always gonna drown. In the broken line horizon, in the castles made of sand, you tried to hold it in your hands, you tried to understand it. The ocean asks the questions, and it holds the answers too. It dissolves away the lies about the things you thought you knew.
Hello, my friends. 'Tis I, Dame Armiger Calirania. My heart and my sword are yours. And 'tis I, Adralath Karakai II, bastard son of a real bastard. Your hearts are mine. And our Sunday guest, John the BloodRedTiger. Welcome, as you have loyally been with us week after week. Hi.
Hello. No words of wisdom.
No
Just
wor-
hello.
had you been thinking of coming on with some some aphorisms, some philosophy of the Red Tiger?
I don't get that way. I'm more just like, hey, oh.
Yeah. And hello, Yuzu, my love, and Rain, our equally loyal chat visitors here in the channel. This weekend I was attempting to do a bit of what the kids are calling a dopamine detox. I was so, like, over the course of the last couple of weeks, I've just been so scatterbrained. Such a struggle keeping on task with things. I'm like, okay, I need to do something to reset my brain. And so I at least got disconnected from, like, Discord and Fetty, like, social, and mostly managed to, like, stay off of YouTube and stuff. So, drastic reduction in the number of interruptions, sort of habitual bouncing around kind of things. We shall see if it helps me, like, if just doing that for a couple of days is enough. I didn't manage to completely detach from digital things yesterday. I did watch a bit of YouTube at bedtime, and most of the day I vanished into a game in the UFO 50 collection called Party House, which is a deck builder done in UFO 50's 8-bit style. But I think it's still better than my usual terrible bad habits that led me to think that I was ADHD for a little while. I'm not really. I just have really bad habits and anxiety. Yeah, what have you been up to last week-ish, John?
Writing frenziedly. It's NaNoWriMo for me.
Keeping
So
ahead of...
I'm 66% through my 50,000 words.
Okay.
Which is a good few days ahead of schedule.
Yeah, we are more around 50% of the month. A little bit, yeah, just barely over 50%. So,
yeah.
Good. Yeah, that sounds like a...
Thrashing ahead. And went to a meeting with the book club today, and nobody turned up but me.
Aww, sadness. Is that...
We have a whole group with basically ADHD.
Oh,
But it's unusual. Well, it's unheard of to get everybody to turn up on the same day, but to get pretty much everybody to not turn up on the same day is like, yeah.
Oh,
So that was fun.
The intro's in danger of becoming an echolalia. Meaning the Fight the Sea by Josh Woodward, the song, or My Greetings, or the whole thing. Oh, Party House is your favorite in your brief excursion. Yeah, it just sank its its teeth. It's yeah, there's some teeth into my brain. It's like, for those who are unfamiliar, UFO 50 is a games collection. You buy just UFO 50 from Steam, and it is 50 games in that, like, look like they could have been on the NES, the original Nintendo or Famicom, but they are all fresh designs. So they use sort of contemporary game design concepts and so on. So you get things like Party House is actually one of the best examples. It's a deck builder game, which, deck building games didn't really become a thing until after, Magic the Gathering came out in the 90s. So that was like 10, 15 years too late for the Nintendo. But like,
I don't actually know what a deck building game involves.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the idea is, okay, you will start with a small deck of cards of some kind that have these very basic cards that are going to let you purchase things from a list of options, right? And each time you buy something with the resources that your cards give you, that adds a new card to the deck. So and there's some objective that you're trying to build up victory points or whatever, or defeat a monster, or there's various different styles or concepts of deck building games, but that basic flow is the same thing. Like you start with a very simple set of resources in your pile. You draw a hand from them, do stuff with those resources, and improve the deck for your next hand. Some of them will let you like remove bad cards from the deck, or there's all sorts of different things that you'll do. But the idea is that on the fly you are sculpting a deck of cards that will help you win the game. In the case of Party House, your deck is a Rolodex of guests that will turn up to your parties. And your goal is to throw the ultimate party with 4 VIPs that show up. So your starting people are just like, they're like the old friend and the rich buddy. They're just like representing like your avatar's personal friends or whatever, and they just give you little bits of popularity and cash resources. The popularity you use to add new guests to your Rolodex, and the cash you use to expand your house to be able to host more guests at once. And yeah, it's very, very, very clever. I found it very engaging. Each game in UFO 50 has 2 sort of levels of completion that you can record on it. Gold means you've sort of beat the game, you've rolled credits, you've accomplished the main objective or whatever. And the cherry is sort of mastering the game. For Party House, I very quickly got the gold by finishing the 5 sort of pre-built scenarios that have particular sets of guests laid out that you're able to recruit. The cherry, the mastery condition, is to get 5 wins in a row using randomized selections of guests. I got to 4 out of 5 and then failed the 5th one, so I'm like, okay, I think I'm done for now.
Good effort.
Yeah. There's several other games in that collection that I played to death. I got cherry on 2 of the like classic shmup style games, Star Wasper and Caramel. There's a sort of a Smash Bros-esque fighting game thing called Hyper Contender. Cleared that one. And I'm missing at least one. It's a sort of puzzle platformer called Mooncat. Got through that one. Very, very clever designs, and very, you make one purchase on Steam and get 50 games. It's hard to pass up. They're not like, each of them a full purchase in their own right. They're short games, but they're not mini games either. Like Star Whisper took me 13 hours to get the cherry on it. Caramel, it was about 8. So, that's pretty good value. Anyway, yapping time. Done. We should read some story. We are on chapter 61 of the Sunnydale Imp. We are in the midst of a giant melee. The demon Murgon and the vampire Sheridan have conspired, and they've gathered up various demon clans all onto Sunnydale's Sunnydale High's sports field to hear Sheridan pitch an alliance. Ostensibly.
This is in the college football ground, actually.
Oh, college. Oh, the college. Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, it'd be right outside Mickey's den.
True. Okay. So college. My bad.
Yeah, this is something with your stadium with walls around it, basically.
But
so there's no escape.
But the actual plan was just to lure Mickey and the Slayer there and wipe them out. Actually, Angel was in on this plan, which he's feeling very guilty about at this point.
And Buffy wasn't supposed to be invited.
Ah, right. It was supposed to be just Mickey. Okay.
This was supposed to be, oh, Mickey's dead or gone or missing. Oh, well, never mind. Carry on.
Right. Yes, that is... But Buffy got wind of it, and so now Buffy is there too. The fight has begun. Mickey and Buffy and Angel are wading through these battle lines of who knows how many demons, hundreds, thousands, who knows what numbers we've got involved here. And Buffy has just used the code black to...
Hey, don't you dare say code back.
I did make that joke in the announcements for the stream, but I'm done. I'm done saying it on air. I've given you enough hard time about that. I mean, it was a pretty amusing goof.
There will be more, I'm sure.
Yeah. But so Mickey now knows it's not time to screw around anymore. There's no more showing off. You just gotta go into murder mode. And that's where we are. Because chapter 61 is not today. That sounds like I'm saying, oh, nope, we're not doing chapter 61 today. Skip to chapter 62. No,
hey, okay. See your roll credits.
Alright. Mickey glanced at the Slayer, her dark eyes hard. She nodded once, then bared her tiny fangs and vanished. Somewhere out of sight, demonic roars turned to screams. Angel felt the battle flow around him as he trailed in the Slayer's wake. He knew how she fought, and they had an easy duality between them, covering each other's weak spots, watching each other's backs. At least that's how it usually played out. This time it wasn't just the two of them, and Buffy was distracted. Makisha had plunged into the heart of the horde, lost to sight immediately. Whatever that code word was, it had flipped a switch. The little devil had turned suddenly, eerily silent. Angel had caught a glimpse of her severing 2 demons at the knees before picking up a fallen sword in her offhand. An instant later she was gone again, and Angel was too busy to look for her. Oh, it's like, Miranda. The Fruity Odie Bars commercial. Yeah. from Serenity. There's a scene in a movie where River, the weird psychic girl, sees an advertisement playing out on a screen and like trips her like sleeper agent assassin
Flashy
mode.
choppy mode.
Yeah, she's like runs around, like start just beating the crap out of everybody in the bar. He saw another flash of action as the imp appeared again, stabbing and chopping in all directions before vanishing to attack somebody else. She never ran, neither advancing nor retreating, always just out of reach, always striking from behind, above, below, inside and underneath the demon's defenses. Angel smashed a lion demon to the ground, reversing his swing into an uppercut that launched a second demon into the air. Buffy was there to meet it, sword flashing upward and removing its head before it landed. "What's happening?" he shouted. "What did you say to her?" Buffy shook her head. "It's some kind of training or programming, I don't know. Helps her focus, I think." "Can you turn it off?" Buffy deflected a staff strike and broke the demon's teeth with the pommel of her sword. "I don't know." Angel frowned. The devil girl was chanting as she killed, and even through her constant vanishing, he'd caught enough to make him uneasy. "Code Black," muttered the girl, casually delivering a disemboweling stroke. "Cold and fast, smooth and deadly. No escape, no surrender, no survivors, no witnesses." She lopped another demon's head from its shoulders and vanished again. The imp's strategy was devastating, but not perfect. Going for all-out aggression meant she wasn't protecting herself as well as she could, and while her armor plates were chipped and scored by dozens of glancing blows, she was also sporting several cuts and slashes on the rest of her suit. The quilted leather was holding, so far. Not that he and Buffy were faring much better, and they weren't wearing armor. The demon horde was thinned out now, thrashing in disarray and unable to bring their numbers to bear on the teleporting terror carving their way through their midst. The imp's path seemed chaotic and random, but Angel could see her goal. She was working ever closer to the podium, where Sheridan bellowed instructions helplessly, trying to marshal her makeshift army into some kind of coherent defense. One way or another, Sunnydale's nightlife was going to be a lot quieter when this battle was done. As the circle surrounding them wavered, Buffy saw a gap and took it, flipping over the head of a lion demon into some clear ground. The beast spun to face her, but Angel took it down from behind and followed Buffy into the open. "We're still cutting off the head, right?" asked the Slayer. Her dark jacket was streaked with a dozen shades of gore, and her hair was matted with sweat. But at that moment she was more beautiful than he could ever remember. He nodded grimly in the direction of the podium. Sheridan spotted the pair and yelled into her microphone. "Angel!" she screeched. "I knew I couldn't trust you!" Buffy quirked an eyebrow at him, but before he could try to explain, Mickey appeared on the stage, ferociously stabbing her sword at Blonde Vampire. Sheridan shrieked and dived aside, just a little too slow, and the sword carved a furrow across her hip. Sheridan rolled aside as the imp followed up, a massive overhead swing from her axe. It missed the vampire by inches, cleaving into the podium where it stuck fast. Mickey abandoned it, taking up a two-handed stance with the sword instead. The vampire surged to her feet, pulling her own sword with a flourish as she jumped down onto the grass. "Come then, creature of hell. Face me one last time. Cross blades with me if you dare." Makisha, her face a blood-streaked mask, teleported to the vampire's side and lopped her sword arm off at the elbow. Not today! Sheridan had a split second to stare at her amputated limb in horror. Before it hit the grass, Mickey reversed her momentum and took the vampire's head off with a horizontal backswing. Sheridan's death scream lingered in the air long after her body exploded into ash. The collected demons let out a groan, and Buffy took a moment to catch her breath. It was done. Sheridan was dead, and the demons would scatter. But Mickey wasn't finished. She took a couple of steps, then crouched to pick up a fallen spear. Grinning widely, the girl raised the weapon high. "No survivors!" she yelled. "No witnesses!" Buffy and Angel stayed close to the podium, brandishing their weapons to keep the panicking demons at bay. Mickey flickered around the edge of the field like a stuttering mirage, lashing out with her spear, taking out legs, shoulders, and throats whenever anything got close to the exits. Half the demons were trying to flee. The other half were trying to predict her next move, hoping for a chance to fight back against the murderous sprite. For all their numbers, they were only foot soldiers, and despite landing the occasional lucky hit on their attacker, individually they stood no chance. Angel caught Buffy's attention.
"So, this code black thing. If you can't turn it off, when does it stop?"
Buffy just shook her head. "I've only seen her do it once, and she stopped when she got bored, I think?" That clearly wasn't going to be any time soon. The imp was having the time of her life, venting her frustration and loneliness and anger in a swirling whirlwind of flying entrails and severed limbs.
"You've seen her do this before? Here? In Sunnydale?"
No, it's complicated. I'll explain later, okay? She grimaced as Mickey hacked at a fallen foe. I thought it was just a way to get her to stop playing around. I didn't think she'd go like this. Angel growled at a staggering demon, and it backed away out of range, only to be cut down a moment later by a thrown axe.
"I don't even know what this is,"
he muttered. Hydration, hang on. My throat is a little bit scratchy today. Apparently I was mumbling in my sleep. So, according to the wife, I was apparently even saying some of my stock nonsense phrases. Said something about pumpkins. Because usually one of my just random little things that I mumble to myself when I'm like trying to remember something, or just sort of catching a beat with my brain. I'll say pumpkin tacos. Huh? Yeah. You're giggling about everything. Pumpkin tacos. You mean you don't have?
That sounds awful.
But yeah.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, that would probably not be amusing. Not be very tasty. I don't know, maybe you could put pumpkin seeds in it, like roasted pumpkin seeds in a taco. I don't know. Maybe it would be good. But no, not like pumpkin flesh, I don't think. That doesn't sound good. But no. Pumpkin tacos, or I'll say one little chant that is punch a baby, crush a baby, bonk a baby, knock a baby. Yeah. Anyway,
Is this all the same baby?
I don't know. Maybe it's a horde of demon babies. Maybe. Yeah. All right. Afterward, Mickey came wandering over to the podium, looking a little dazed. Her suit was a tattered mess. She was bleeding from dozens of cuts, and her left arm was hanging funny. At some point, she'd swapped the spear for a mighty greatsword, and the blade, now broken, left a winding furrow in the ground as she dragged it behind her. "This is really bad," she whispered hoarsely. "Somebody's gonna notice all this mess." Buffy bit her lip. The imp looked like she'd been through hell, both physically and mentally, and not the hell she was born in, the sort of hell even devils weren't keen on. One with bears. Angel surveyed the battlefield and agreed with the assessment.
If we pile all the bodies in the middle and burn them, it'll be filed as some kind of student prank.
Mickey blinked. "You know these are demon corpses, right? Won't somebody notice that some of these guys have horns on their heads, or too many heads?" Buffy grimaced, not sure how best to explain. "It'll just be one more bit of unexplained Sunnydale weirdness. Trust me, nobody will look too deeply." Angel nodded.
Deep down, they don't want to know.
"I'll go find a phone," volunteered Buffy. "I can call Giles in with some napalm or something." Mickey watched her go, eyes wide. "Napalm?" she breathed. Her eyes lit up. "Really?" Angel scowled.
She's joking. Come on. We need to get this mess cleared up before somebody comes to investigate.
They started gathering up the various bits, Mickey favoring her injured arm as she grumbled. "Go and find a phone. Sheesh. Like living in the Dark Ages. How long before you guys get cell phones?" Angel tossed a bundle of reptilian legs onto the pile.
What's a cell phone?
"Ah!" Buffy returned a short while later, explaining that there was a phone in the stadium office and Giles was on his way. "With napalm?" asked Mickey hopefully. Buffy laughed. "No, sorry. Just regular old gasoline." They worked as fast as they could, but Mickey had used up most of her power and was feeling pretty battered. "Is it okay if I sit down for a bit?" she asked. Buffy gave her an understanding nod, and the imp plonked herself down on the grass to catch her breath. Giles made good time, carefully picking his way across the field lugging a pair of jerry cans. By the time he reached the makeshift mound, his eyes were a little wide. Buffy helped him pour out the fuel, and together they set the whole gory mass alight. Angel shied away, understandably nervous at the open flames.
I should be going,
he said. Buffy reached out and caught his hand. "I'll come with you. We need to talk." Mickey watched them go. "Does he always look that miserable, or is tonight special?" Giles watched the retreating pair.
Yes, actually he does. And I think, judging by this lot, that tonight is also rather an unusual occurrence.
"Oh."
Just how many demons were there?
He nodded toward the pyre. Mickey shrugged. "I don't know. Lots? Lots and lots? Loads? It wasn't just me, though. Buffy and Angel did a whole bunch, too."
This is an impressive victory, Makisha. Someone, or something, must have been gathering these demon clans for some nefarious purpose, and now their plans lie in ruins. The forces of darkness will think twice before confronting you again.
Mickey watched the blaze. "I was just going to kill Sheridan, but then Buffy said I should kill all the bad guys as well." Giles looked at her sharply.
She did?
Well, not as such. She told me to go code black. The librarian removed his glasses for a quick polish.
I see. And have you explained precisely what that means?
You've seen the video. I thought it was obvious.
The effects were certainly clear, but I don't think we know what your actual instructions are.
Oh. Mickey bit her lip, then recited in a quiet sing-song voice. Code black, cold and fast, smooth and deadly. No escape, no surrender, no survivors, no witnesses. The Englishman instinctively took a half-step back.
Rather chilling? No witnesses?
No enemy witnesses. We don't want them running back home and telling their friends about my fighting style and stuff. It'd ruin the surprise.
Right. That makes good tactical sense, I suppose, though perhaps not in this particular instance. Tell me, why don't you fight this way all the time?
Because it's boring. Stab, crush, chop, stab, smash, blah, blah, blah. She mimed a terrific yawn. Jack doesn't like it when I get bored. He says I get cranky.
Yes, well, we wouldn't want that.
Giles had seen what a cranky slayer looked like. A cranky imp didn't bear thinking about. I let Jack make the plans and stuff, and he makes sure we only need to get nasty on special occasions. It's not very often, but sometimes it's important. She picked up a smoking foot and tossed it back onto the pyre. It's like that saying, no enemy survives contact with the plan.
I think you mean no plan survives contact with the enemy.
Mickey was taken aback and gestured at the blood-splattered field. Nuh-uh, that's stupid. Look, my plan, no more enemies. Giles smiled tightly.
Yes, well, I dare say you're used to doing things a little differently.
She nodded. You got that right. I don't usually make the plans, so I wanted to keep it simple.
It appears to have been a success. And as you pointed out, no enemies survived contact with it.
Mickey nodded, and they watched the burning demons for a while in silence. Going code black hadn't been part of her plan, and the demons hadn't been her enemies before tonight. If she got to Sheridan first, or a day sooner even, none of this would have happened. Eventually she turned and gave him an appraising look. Are you just waiting here to make sure I don't eat anything? Giles blushed.
Not at all. I'm simply here in case you require support or medical attention.
She turned to look up at him. You can do medical stuff? Because I think I busted my shoulder and it doesn't feel right. She lifted her arm to demonstrate and winced.
Good Lord,
He exclaimed.
that's clearly dislocated. I can pop it back in for you, but it's going to hurt.
It already hurts, she complained as he took a good hold of her upper arm and braced. Ow!
I did warn you.
He said mildly as the girl pulled away, massaging her shoulder gingerly. It could have been worse. I think the guy was trying to pull it off. She chuckled. Can't disarm me that easily. Giles coughed, wonder whether he should point out the obvious. He decided against it when the girl let out a long, heartfelt sigh. You know, it's kind of lame that all my biggest achievements are always smashing and killing stuff. I keep telling myself I can change, but I'm not sure what I'm missing. The imp looked thoughtful. One day, though, I'm going to do something different. Something awesome. I'm going to create things.
That's an admirable attitude.
Commended Giles.
Have you given any thought to what that might be?
The girl turned and looked at him seriously. I think I'd like to try baking a cake. Feeling somewhat drained, Mickey asked Giles to give her a ride to the school so she could go home and rest. She magically dispelled her combat suit and swapped for a dark hoodie and jeans so she wouldn't bleed on his seats. Buffy desperately wanted to get home, take a shower, and stash her blood-soaked clothes somewhere her mother wouldn't find them. But first, she needed to talk to Angel. She walked a few paces behind him as he strode away from the stadium. He was brooding harder than usual, practically hiding his face. Why did Sheridan think she could trust you? She asked his retreating back. He stopped but didn't turn around. She sounded like you two had some kind of deal.
We did, he admitted. She asked me to lead Makisha to her. For a fight.
And you went along with it? He half turned.
We both know she was no match for Mickey. It should have been over in seconds.
But you knew about the demons, too. You led us into a trap.
Sheridan wanted to kill Mickey in front of them, to prove that she was strong enough to lead.
He twisted the truth just a little.
I figured Mickey would crush her, and the demons would scatter. Mickey should have been able to teleport directly into a duel. I don't know what went wrong.
Sheridan played you, obviously. She already had the demons working for her, and she knew she couldn't take on Mickey by herself. Buffy frowned. Something didn't quite add up, but she wasn't quite ready to accuse the vampire of leading Mickey into a deadly ambush. Mickey trusted you, she said, voice barely above a whisper. I trusted you. You nearly got us both killed. Angel hung his head, accepting the accusation without protest.
I wasn't thinking clearly.
He admitted.
It seemed like the best solution at the time.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. Buffy walked over and two-ended him around by the shoulder.
Wow, I don't know how I've managed to spell that.
I need you to focus now. I need you to find out where those demons came from. Sheridan didn't have the clout to pull this off alone. That means someone else was behind it. Someone powerful just happened to have a small army of minor demons ready to call up at a moment's notice. And they didn't set that up just to kill Mickey. Angel frowned.
They weren't here in town. That many? Somebody would have noticed. I'd have heard something.
Buffy nodded. Exactly. So this was something big, already in the works, and we probably just broke it. Whoever was behind it could regroup, maybe try again. I want to be ready. The vampire stood in silence for several long seconds.
All that just to kill one girl. Even with me and you there as backup, this whole thing was just ridiculous overkill. I don't understand it.
Buffy raised a brow. If it was overkill, why are we still alive? Safely back in her cave, Mickey dismissed her manifested clothes, wincing as the magic removed some of the scabs from her many wounds. Exemplars healed quickly under normal conditions, and while she'd taken a lot of hits, she was confident she wouldn't scar. I mean, I've had worse, right? She looked down at herself, critically, identifying the deepest, most serious cuts. Back on Verity's world, these would have gone away by now, but of late she'd had to work without the goddess's protection, so she'd had to adapt. Jack had taught her the basics of first aid, which had been tricky at the time because he didn't have hands, but she'd picked up the important stuff. One of the first things she grabbed when she arrived here was a bunch of first aid boxes. Luckily, the symbols they used to mark them were universal and easily recognized, and all the stuff inside was familiar. Mickey was pretty sure her magic had cleaned her skin, but monster weapons sometimes carried nasty germs. She used some bottled water to rinse off, before smearing the tube of healing cream over as many cuts as she could reach. Xander would sure be useful about now, she grumbled, if he weren't so busy freaking out about my nakedness. Having done all that she could, it was time for the sticking plasters and bandages. Once the bleeding stopped, her mutant powers should be able to handle the rest. She just needed to lie down and let her body heal itself. She trudged over to the bed. She'd straightened the covers out to be pleasingly flat, but now it just looked empty and lonely. Damn it, Xander, of all the nights to not be here. She slipped carefully under the covers, shifted around a bit to avoid putting pressure on anything too painful, and closed her eyes. Xander lay awake in his own bed that night, alone with his regret. That was chapter 61.
Many, many, many typos.
None. Well, okay, two end was pretty funny. But
Yeah, things with an apostrophe and missing line, and also a couple of times where Mickey's referred to the monsters as demons.
oh, does she not normally do that?
She doesn't acknowledge them as demons; they're just monsters.
Ah, okay.
I'll fix those.
Just like it's not a Hellmouth.
So if anybody wants to go back and read it again, it'll all be so much better.
These are all very cosmetic things.
And yeah, I like the Hellmouth
Yeah,
glitch.
the big evil energy thing, big evil magic thing. Alright, chapter 62, That's So Sweet. Okay. Squeak, squeak. There. Rupert Giles arrived at Sunnydale High School early on Monday morning. That is to say, earlier than usual. He had the videotape player safely concealed in a sports bag, and wanted to return it quietly to the AV Club's storage cupboard without any chance of being spotted. At this hour, the school was all but deserted, apart from the janitorial staff, who wouldn't pay any attention to his comings and goings. He reached room 77 without incident, and this time he didn't need his skeleton key. He slipped inside and unzipped the bag. He pulled out the machine and its cables, pausing to check, for the third time this morning, that the tape absolutely wasn't still in the machine. That done, he shoved it back into a suitable-looking space and slipped out as quickly as he'd come. Back in the corridor, he forced himself to relax and headed to the library. He wasn't expecting any trouble now that he'd completed the drop, but he still wanted to get back to the comparative safety of his home turf, as it were. He pushed through the double doors and ran his fingers over the bank of light switches. The doors swung closed behind him, and the library flickered into life as the lights kicked in. He'd done it. He was safe. And the school wouldn't start getting busy for a good hour or so, which meant he had time to collate and file some of his notes from the weekend, before any more imp-related weirdness cropped up. But of course it wasn't to be. He wasn't alone in the library. A familiar winged form was sprawled in a tiny heap between two of the reference stacks.
Good lord, Mikisha?
He ran up the stairs and found the girl laid out on a cheap rug, daubed with paint and scorched around the edges.
That's the rug that's daubed with paint and scorched around the edges, not Mickey.
Not her. Yeah, okay, that's probably a way to rephrase that to make it look clearer, but no big. You're right, though. That is how I first parsed it. I was thinking that she had, like, war paint on, like, for some reason, yeah. And I don't know, like, maybe she didn't fix all of her wounds from last time. Maybe she got scorched around the edges by some fire-breathing demons. A scattering of small tea-light candles, long expired, lay around her in a rough circle. He stared at the rug, recognizing the nature of the design painted onto it, a power focus for channeling ambient magic. Eyes wide, he quickly dropped to one knee and shook the girl's shoulder. She had swapped her hooded top and baggy pants at some point, and was now wearing her small black dress. Her bare arms and legs were striped with bandages and spotted with numerous sticking plasters. She looked like she had rolled around in a pile of them, and they did not match her skin tone.
Mikisha? Mickey, wake up.
To his relief, the girl did wake up. Her wings fluttered, and she sat up sharply, blinking in the morning light. Giles? Is it morning?
Well, yes. What are you doing here?
I couldn't sleep. The girl poked her arm experimentally and smiled. Mostly because I was sore and bleeding, so I came and got myself some magic. She picked herself up and brushed a speck of dust from her dress. But now I feel great. How about you? Did you sleep okay?
Yes, thank you.
He eyed the rug warily.
Another magic circle? Not marker pens again, I hope.
She looked down at the tatty rug and shook her head. I used paint for this one. And wow, that's really charred.
Yes, the design appears to have been burned in. Just how much power did you channel through it?
The imp quirked a brow at him. I don't know. A bit? Enough to heal me up, which is cool. She studied her arms. No bruises, no dizziness, cuts all sorted. She flared with green light and changed her dress to a red skirt, black vest, and a white jacket, zapping away all the band-aids in the process. Giles took a step back.
Changing your clothes removes the sticky residue?
He guessed. The girl's versatility never ceased to surprise him. Faster and less hardy than peeling them off by hand. Those things suck. Willow also arrived early and slipped into the library well before first bell, hoping to catch Giles alone and talk about the video. She was a little surprised, however, to find Mikisha already there, passing a rolled-up bundle into the cage, where Giles was waiting to lock it away. What's that you got there, folks? She asked with forced innocence. A rolled-up carpet? Mickey looked around. Oh, hi, Willow. It's a magic circle. It's only a little one. It's not very good, but it is portable. She beamed. Pretty neat, huh? Oh, what are you going to do with it? Giles emerged from the cage looking harassed.
Nothing.
He said firmly.
That's why I'm locking it up.
Mickey nodded. Plus, it's all burned out, I think. Looks like rugs aren't a strong enough base. She studied the cage as Giles turned the key in the lock. You know I can teleport into there and grab it, right?
Yes, I realise that. Assuming you haven't done yourself irreparable damage sleeping on the thing.
Willow gasped. You went to sleep on a magic circle? She frowned and then gasped a second time louder than before. You went to sleep on a magic circle here in the library? The imp shrugged. Just a little one. But I thought... Willow glanced at Giles and lowered her voice to a whisper. I thought magic circles had to be precisely marked onto the ground, using specific materials? Giles nodded somewhat vaguely.
To be fair, that's normally true. Otherwise, the circle will be somewhat shoddy and ineffective. In this case, Mikisha only required a very weak enhancement to her existing magical talent, So her use of substandard spell components may have been a blessing in disguise.
He paused to give the imp a glare.
Otherwise, she might well have died. Or worse.
Mickey rolled her eyes. I'm not going to die from absorbing magic. I've been sucking up magic since I was born, and I've been using this stuff up since I got here. I used the rug because I knew you wouldn't want me messing up the floor. Willow was still concerned. Weren't you worried the spell might go wrong? Yeah, the big magic thingy is right here. I can feel it, and it wants to be used. I bet I could ditch the magic circle and just stand here with a funnel or something. It's that easy. Oh, whoops. Oh, I'm in the wrong window. That's why it's not moving. There we go. Wait, that's what you are doing? Willow gaped. Sleeping on a magic circle was bad, but sleeping on a magic circle that deliberately charged you with evil magic? You were soaking up more evil magic? I mean, more than usual? Is that safe? I mean, how can that be safe? What happens if you turn bad? Mickey gave her friend a withering look. I'm a devil. I've seen bad. I've been bad. And I got over it. I'm good now. And my best friend is a goddess. You can't corrupt me. Can't turn me bad. She shrugged, grinning. Believe me, it's been tried. The bell rang for first period, and Willow announced she had to get to math. She paused at the door, holding it open for Mickey, but the imp shook her head. No thanks. I'm gonna find something else instead. The redhead hesitated, but not for long, and Mickey stepped into the corridor to watch her hurry away. Willow must really like doing number stuff, she thought to herself. There must be something here that's fun for somebody like me. She wandered the hallways, watching the last few students slip into the designated classrooms. Eventually, everything was quiet, and she was alone. Acting on instinct, she chose a door at random and listened intently. A woman's voice drifted out, pleasant with a sing-song accent. She sounded nice, so Mickey pushed the door open and stepped inside. Teacher and students all paused to look at her curiously. Vivian Reipold recognized the newcomer immediately. Snyder's pet exchange student had been the talk of the faculty lounge for days. Apparently she was from somewhere in Europe, but nobody was really sure where, or even which language she spoke. She smiled at the girl and was met with a cheerful, open grin. Bonjour? She tried. Salut? And I don't know French well enough to pronounce that.
J'ai vu a day?
She asked. Okay. Can I help you? Asked the teacher. She was speaking French, but Mickey's translation spell kicked in and the imp understood without noticing the switch. Maybe, said Mickey, also in French. I am here to see what I can learn. Oh, you speak French? A little, she replied. Enough to get by. There's the catchphrase again. Or the stock excuse or dodge. I see. Your accent is quite unique. The imp nodded, smiling. Lots of people say that. What are you called? My name's Makisha Nichols. Very good. Please take a seat, Makisha. The class was weird. It took Mickey a few minutes to figure out why. The teacher would read out a few sentences and then ask the class questions about the stuff she'd just told them. For a while, Mickey wondered if this was a class for really stupid kids, But it can't have been that, because Cordelia was in here, sitting near the window with one of her chanting squad mates. What did Marie Claude eat for breakfast? The teacher looked at the class. Anybody? Mickey glanced around, but nobody seemed keen to answer. She slowly, gingerly raised her hand, like she'd seen Willow do in her classes. Makisha? She had a bowl of cereal, and some croissants, and some cheese, and a cup of coffee. Very good. The teacher gave her an approving nod, and Mickey frowned. The question was so easy it felt like a trick. But hey, she got it right before anybody else did. But still, what was the catch? What was the point? The family went shopping in the car. What color is the family's car? Asked the teacher. Monsieur Haynes?
The family's car is red,
Said the boy. Too many windows. Okay, there we go. No, scolded the teacher. The family's car is red. Say it with me. The family's car is red. Mickey blinked. The kid, Jason, just said that. Or did he? Was she hearing everything right? She tried to remember how the translation magic worked, but Verity hadn't really explained it very well, and Mickey hadn't really cared. Whatever language somebody spoke, the spell just knew what they meant, and that's what Mickey heard. It wasn't bothered by strange accents, and apparently it worked just fine when the person got the words mixed up or pronounced them wrong. Had everyone been speaking foreign the whole time she'd been in the room? How had she not noticed that? The names, the places, the food, all the words and questions reminded her of something. She let out a groan and rested her forehead on the desk. Makisha? Asked the teacher. Are you unwell? Mickey looked up. I'm fine, just feeling a little confused. Do you need to go to the medical office? Mickey listened carefully. Everything still sounded normal. She frowned. Is this in English now, or are we still talking foreign? Some of the kids laughed, nervously, and the teacher looked concerned. I think you should see the school nurse. She gestured over to the window. Mademoiselle Chase, can you take her to the nurse's office? Thank you. Out in the corridor and safely out of earshot, Cordy turned to Mickey. You speak perfect French? She hissed, eyes narrowing. The imp shrugged. I guess so. I'm magic. I speak all languages, but I can't control it. I thought we were still speaking English. She sighed. This is English now, right? Yes. Cordy frowned. Are you okay? You seem different today. Mickey tilted her head. You mean different to everybody else kind of different? Or brimming with cosmic power kind of different? Both, maybe? Why, what have you done? I had a pretty big fight last night. Cordelia stared. You and Buffy? Yeah. Are you okay? Did she hurt you? Huh? No. I mean, me and Buffy got into a big fight with a bunch of vampires and monsters and stuff. Oh my god. She stepped back, giving Mickey a once-over. But you are okay, right? Is Buffy okay? I saw her this morning sporting the long sleeves and too much concealer look. Mickey did her best to calm the taller girl down. We're fine. Angel was there too. We killed all the monsters. I got chopped up a little, but I'm fine now. Cordy was dubious. I don't know. Maybe you should go see the nurse, just for a checkup. Bad idea, remember? She jerked a thumb over her shoulder and fluttered her wings as a reminder. Cordelia blushed. Oh, yeah. You know, I actually forgot about those for a second. Mickey blinked, then rushed forward and gave her a hug. Aw, you forgot I was a devil? That's so sweet. Cordelia awkwardly hugged the girl back, wings and all. Buffy sat through the math class, but barely heard a word. Willow and Xander had both spotted that she was stiff and achy after last night's battle. She might fool her mother, but her friends knew the signs. She'd taken a few hard knocks, and while she was mostly healed, the signs were still visible. Makisha, on the other hand, had thrown caution to the wind and been sliced to ribbons, and Buffy had effectively ordered her to do it. Not deliberately, of course. Not in so many words. But she'd called out the Code Black command without knowing how the imp would react. Following her talk with Angel, when the adrenaline had worn off, Buffy had snuck home and cleaned up, covered the bruises, and hid the evidence before falling into bed. All she could think about was that they dodged a bullet, and that, hopefully, the town would be quiet for a few days. She hadn't even phoned Willow. It was only in the morning, when she woke up, that she remembered all the little glancing hits Miki had taken during the fight, and the state of her padded suit afterward. It was all too easy to forget the little devil wasn't indestructible. Miki often seemed to forget herself, but she could be forgiven. She was used to a goddess watching over her. Here in Sunnydale, things could get way more serious. Buffy had sent her new friend wading into combat with 100 demons, heedless of the consequences, and now she was sick with worry and guilt. She can't have been hurt that badly, she consoled herself. She looked okay when I left, and Jaws was right there with her. Buffy also has a healing factor? Yeah, thus the line about how the bruises and such had mostly healed overnight. She had visions of the imp limping home to bed and bleeding out, or falling prey to some random vampire on the walk back. And on the subject of vampires, what the hell had Angel been thinking? How could he have trusted a tricky, deceitful bitch like Sheridan? He knew what vampires were like. Betrayal was just part of their charm. Mickey's injuries may have indirectly been Buffy's fault, but Angel was the one who knowingly led them into a trap. Buffy's thoughts spun. If Mickey figured out that she'd been betrayed by Angel, she might well kill him. Buffy wouldn't be able to do much about it. Right now, her heart was telling her she shouldn't get in the way. Finally, the bell rang and Buffy threw her books into her bag. She had to find Giles and check that Mickey was okay. Damn you, Angel. Okay, chapter 62 down. One moment for a swig of drink and carry right on.
So we've shed one of the baddies. Sheridan's gone. A rather ignominious defeat.
Yeah, so we've dealt with Keats, we've dealt with Sheridan. Murgon is still out there. I don't think we have any other major antagonists that are still kicking around.
Yeah, but we've got 14 chapters left.
Right. Chapter 63, completely intact. Running to the library, Buffy's sharp hearing overheard some chatter that brought her screeching to a halt. Let's see, these are just miscellaneous people.
These are buds. I'll do one.
Yeah, you can do it.
Did you guys hear about that fire last night at the UC Stadium?
Oh, that? Yeah. Why?
I heard the bonfire was just a huge stack of body parts.
Buffy winced and quickly turned to head them off. I heard it was animal carcasses, she said. Stolen from the slaughterhouse. Some kind of stupid frat prank. Yeah, agreed one of the group. A huge stack of body parts mean a huge stack of bodies. I think that would be all over the news, dork. Buffy gave a tight nod, then hurried on. That rumor could cause a problem. Maybe get somebody to investigate. Luckily, she was pretty certain they hadn't left any identifying evidence at the stadium. Wait, had Mickey worn her boots that night? The ones with the symbol cut into the soles? If she'd managed to leave her mark all over the scene of the crime, somebody was sure to notice. She reached the library at a semi-dignified jog and barged the doors open. Giles barked in alarm and nearly dropped a small stack of books.
Buffy, please, no running in the corridors, and please don't slam the doors like that.
He hesitated, lowering his voice.
Unless it's an emergency?
Also, the mayor would tell the PD to cover it up if the rumor actually started getting traction. Yeah, there's a lot of forces in Sunnydale dedicated to maintaining the masquerade. No, at least I hope not. She glanced around. Have you seen Mickey today? To her surprise, he frowned.
Actually, yes. She was fast asleep on the floor when I arrived this morning. Just over there.
He pointed to the reference section.
I managed to replace the video player without incident, by the way, in case you were wondering.
Buffy blinked. Oh, yeah, that. I mean, I assumed you'd have no problems, you being a member of staff and all. She had forgotten all about the borrowed machine, and Giles knew it, but she carried on regardless. Mickey slept here last night, you say? How was she?
Oh, she was well enough. Irritatingly chipper, in fact.
Buffy rolled her eyes. Well, it stands to reason devils would be mourning people.
Quite. Did you have any particular question? You're going to be late for your next class.
I was just worried. I think she got pretty badly cut up last night.
Yes, I did notice. She was covered in band-aids this morning, but it seems she managed to heal herself during the night.
What? Xander chose that moment to stick his head through the door.
Buff, come on, you're going to be late.
The Slayer rolled her eyes. Fine. She paused, turning back to Giles. Mickey's definitely okay, though. Wasn't hurt too badly?
Completely intact.
He assured her.
Go. We'll talk later.
Buffy fidgeted all through her next class, barely paying attention. Xander and Willow had sent her their not-so-secret "we need to talk" signal, and Cordelia had been giving her the stink eye since the second she walked in. More than usual, even. Giles said Mickey was fine, but she knew he was holding something back. Something that would have stopped her from going to class. But he said she was okay, completely intact. Unfortunately, that didn't cover everything, and in Mickey's case, the possibilities were endless, not to mention terrifying. What exactly had Giles meant? Was Mickey okay, but she knew Angel had led them into a trap? Was she okay, but she wasn't going to help them anymore? Was she okay, but leaving town? It was an absolute age until the bell rang, but at least there was a decent break between this class and the next. Buffy made for the door, pausing to let Xander and Willow catch up, but before they had a chance to talk, Cordelia blocked their path, a small group of followers forming a wall behind her. Buffy sighed as Cordy leaned close, sneering. Mickey's just fine, by the way, in case you're interested. Her message delivered, she led her posse out, leaving the Scoobies in confusion.
Mickey's fine?
Repeated Xander.
What's that supposed to mean? Why wouldn't she be fine? Is this because of yesterday with the thing?
A thing, yes, but a different thing, not that thing. Willow looked around to make sure nobody was listening in. There was a different thing? Buffy led them to a quiet spot. We killed a whole bunch of demons last night. We won, barely, but I think I may have done something really stupid. What did you do? Asked Willow.
And when you say a whole bunch, how many demons are we talking?
Asked Xander. Buffy pulled a face. All of them, I think? Like an army. And it was just me, Mickey, and Angel, so I told Mickey to go code black. You know, the thing. From the thing. Xander nodded, grinning.
Let me guess. She went all kick-ass ninja and didn't leave anything for you and Dead Boy?
The Slayer frowned. Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. I don't know what I thought would happen. She doesn't have like some secret turbo mode that she keeps in reserve.
So what did she do? You said you won, and Cody said she was fine.
Remembering the sudden change that came over Miki, Buffy shook her head, feeling a little sick. She went berserk. She took a breath. She stopped fighting and started killing. It's like she was everywhere at once, so fast, so fast. Angel and I held our own, completely surrounded, but Mickey was out in the thick of it by herself. That teleporting trick is deadly, but you can't keep the element of surprise when 100 demons are all watching and waiting their turn.
100?
Xander paled. More or less. There wasn't time for a proper head count. Not all demons either. Maybe a dozen vampires organizing the whole mess. Led by Sheridan, of course. That's the good news. She was shouting a challenge, waving a sword about, and Mickey just chopped her down like wheat. Willow blinked. So what's the problem? Buffy bit her lip. She was all attack, no defense. I gave her the code word and she threw herself into the fight like a machine. Her armor took so many hits it was in pieces. But Mickey's okay, Willow insisted. Cordelia said she was fine. Yeah, she's fine now, but I need to talk to her. I need to know that what I did was okay. Xander nodded.
How about we split up and look for her? Cody's seen her, so she must be around here somewhere, right?
Good idea. I'll check the library again. You check the sports hall, Willow check the canteen? They nodded and split up to go hunt for the imp. So, began Harmony, thinking out loud, are we friends with that Makisha kid now? Because didn't she threaten you or something? Cordelia rolled her eyes. She apologized, we made up, I'm over it. She's actually pretty cool. You guys should give her a chance. But, she's not gonna try for the squad, right? Cordy raised a brow. The super fit, super nimble devil girl would make most of this cheer squad look like bloated hogs, and she was so small and light she would always get the most important positions in any formation. No, she's not trying for the squad. Too much of a commitment. That, and the girl had actually thought the cheers were some sort of spellcasting ritual, which was honestly kind of hilarious. No, for the same reasons that she couldn't risk a medical assessment, Mickey couldn't join the cheer squad. Sooner or later, somebody would notice that she had wings, or her tail would cut someone, or she'd lift too hard and launch a teammate into the bleachers. Maybe I can get her to sign up for a rival's cheer squad instead. An unwary coach would accept her in a heartbeat, not knowing the dangers. She'd be helping at bottom of a pyramid or something, then get distracted and vanish mid-routine. She smirked wickedly at the mental image. Well, okay, good, continued Harmony. Because we need to kick somebody out, and we don't know how long the new kid's gonna stick around, and who needs that kind of drama anyway? Plus, it's always a problem when you try to add somebody new to the mix, you know? Murgon was back in the underground lab, but this time he was working alone. The Caitiff clan weren't answering his calls, which struck him as petty and unprofessional, so he decided to clear out the space himself. He didn't need their help for this, and while such manual labor was normally beneath him, he was perfectly capable of clearing a room and prepping a portal site. He frowned at the dark stain on the steps, feeling a twinge in his not quite healed shoulder. The Slayer was a genuine problem, but once the Devil Girl was in his grasp, he could leave town and carry out his research in peace. The Slayer might attempt a rescue, but she'd have to find him first, and he knew some very good hiding places. He dragged the metal frame into the corner of the room. It was no use now, and he didn't personally know the spell to reactivate the scrying pool. He figured some good old-fashioned torture might get results. Or possibly she might be open to some psychological manipulation. She didn't strike him as especially bright, so perhaps he could convince her that he was a friend. Wouldn't that be fun? Xander hurried as fast as he dared and spotted Mickey near the changing rooms. She was leaning against the wall, sipping from a juice box. She was a million miles away, and she didn't notice him until he got close.
Mickey!
He called.
Hey, hi.
The girl turned her huge dark eyes to him and took a long, loud slurp of juice. Hi, Xander, she eventually replied. What's up?
Oh, Buffy told me about last night. She's worried you might have gotten hurt or something.
He gave her a quick look over and didn't see any sign of injuries. She looked rather stylish in a red, white, and black combo, complemented by her usual black boots with their red trim. She didn't reply. She just shrugged.
I like your outfit.
He ventured.
Practical yet stylish.
She nodded. That's what Snyder said.
Snyder said that?
Xander goggled.
Principal Snyder? Our Principal Snyder? When?
A little while ago, back there near the food machines, I noticed he had a new jacket. He noticed I also had a new jacket. She shrugged again. He bought me a juice box from the machine. Xander tried to imagine that and gave up immediately.
Wait, aren't your jackets always new? Don't you create your clothes from scratch when you need them?
Well, yes, but it's still nice that somebody noticed.
I notice.
He protested, not quite shouting.
I think all your outfits look really good, but I don't say anything because I don't want it to sound like I'm being creepy.
Like Snyder, he added mentally. Why would it be creepy? She asked, genuinely puzzled.
Because you're pretty and all kinds of cool. And I don't want to look like a pathetic, drooling idiot hanging around when I'm not wanted.
Mickey frowned. You follow Buffy and Willow around all the time, and they're pretty.
That's complicated. Listen, I know I said some stupid things yesterday, and I'm sorry. I get flustered when there's,
He waved a hand in the general direction of Mickey's chest. Boobs? She prompted.
Yeah. It's like you hope and hope for the briefest glimpse, and then the moment they're real and right there, my brain just shuts down.
Too naughty?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
He unslung his bag and rummaged inside, eventually producing a small box of chocolates.
I got you these to say sorry. Peace offering?
I'm trying to remember what it was that he did that would have upset Mickey that much.
He saw boobs and was like, no, put that away.
Oh,
don't do that.
Okay.
And
That
I was
was-
like, don't you be mean.
Okay. Mickey accepted the box and sniffed at it. Chocolates! She exclaimed, then glanced around guiltily. Jack says I'm not allowed chocolates because sugar makes me crazy.
Oh, damn.
Xander started to reach out a hand, but Mickey shied away, hugging the little box to her chest. No, I didn't say I didn't want them, and Jack's not here. She started clawing the box apart to get at the contents. Xander hovered nervously as the girl started gnawing on the corner of the box.
There's tape. You just the tape.
And then, just to make the moment worse, Cordelia arrived, minions in tow. She looked at the box and held out a hand. Can I see? Mickey handed it over wordlessly, and Cordy arched an eyebrow. Belgian. Very nice. She sliced the tape with one perfect fingernail and opened the lid before handing the box back. She gave Xander a pitying look. Chocolates? Seriously? Does she look like a girl who eats candy? They turned back to Mickey, who already had 2 in her mouth and was about to chow down on a third. She hesitated. What? She asked. Chocolates are a girl's best friend. Harmony rolled her eyes. That's diamonds, dummy. Mickey furrowed her brow. Diamonds? Diamonds are useless. But they're expensive and sparkly. So are car keys, and they do something. Xander's jaw dropped.
I'm not buying you a car?
Cordy laughed, not entirely spitefully. So, what pathetic thing are you apologizing for, Harris? She shared a smile with her posse. There's no way these aren't apology chocolates. Mickey chuckled and held out the box. Can't tell you now. I accepted the box, so I have to accept the apology. Anybody else want one? There was a sharp intake of breath as the girls remembered their diets and strict fitness regimes. They looked at each other for a long second, as Xander reached out and took one of the delicious confections. Cordelia cracked first. Oh, to hell with it, I'll try one. Quick as a flash, 6 chocolates vanished, and the Cordettes slipped away to eat their prizes, away from judgmental eyes. Mickey and Xander watched them go, both equally bemused. Girls are weird, observed Mickey.
You're a girl too, you know.
But I'm special. When I do weird stuff, it's cute.
Quirky.
He agreed. Yeah.
So, bean swimming or going swimming?
The imp grinned. Going. Why? You coming in?
I can't. I've got chemistry, then physics.
Mickey grimaced. I'm not gonna try doing chemistry. I'll either poison myself or explode. I might come find you for physics, though. That's about why things happen, right?
Yeah, I guess. More or less.
Xander thought the subject was more like an offshoot of math with all the formulas and stuff. But if Mickey wanted to tag along, he wasn't complaining. She'd accepted his apology, and everything was all right. Speaking of which...
If you've accepted my apology, does that mean...
What? Oh, you silly boy. Yes. She playfully slapped his bicep, sending the empty box flying from his hands. I missed you last night, in fact. I could really have used a cuddle, but it all worked out okay. Xander met up with Buffy and Willow on the way to chemistry class. At their expectant looks, he nodded.
I found her. She's fine. No ill effects from whatever it was.
Buffy visibly relaxed. Willow thinks maybe it's a hypnotic suggestion.
Wow, really? That seems a little, I don't know, cold. Also really dangerous. What if somebody says it by accident? Or she misses somebody asking for a cold wax?
That's a very awkward attempt at a... that's something homophonic. The girls frowned at him, but he ignored them.
On the plus side, at least somebody else knows the code, right? Giles has the tape locked up at home. And the copy.
He smiled.
So, unless there's a bizarre accident, we should be fine.
Buffy rolled her eyes. I'm pretty sure she's not going to lose her mind every time she hears the words. She sat through the video with us and didn't react to it. If there's any kind of suggestion, it probably has rules, like context or something. Willow nodded. It must only apply when she's already fighting. Something like that. Yeah. I'm not sure why we've got the only tape, though. That Mergon guy dropped this one while making his escape, but they had Mickey for a couple of hours, so there could easily be more tapes. Xander winced.
You mean there's more crazy stuff that we haven't seen yet?
Yes, Zan, that's what I mean. Stuff that we haven't seen, but the bad guys have. What if there's a Code Black incident on there? Or something worse?
Worse? Worse than you described?
Hey, it's possible. This is Mickey we're talking about. There's always something worse. Phew. Ripped through 3 chapters already. Let's see. How are we doing on time?
Most of an hour.
Oh, do we? Okay. Chapter 64. Not Harry Potter, I hope. Well, I too hope it's not Harry Potter. Because fuck J. Rowling. Let's see, how long is this one? Okay.
This one's about 3,000 words.
Okay, I can probably make it through that, yeah.
Let me just...
Might stop there. I'm feeling a little wobbly. I might need a short nap before I go to, we're going to a Magic the Gathering pre-release event this afternoon. There's the Avatar: The Last Airbender set is coming out. Okay. According to the schedule, Jenny Calendar didn't have a class this period, so Giles slipped out of the library to run a little errand. He wasn't entirely confident about leaving the imp unsupervised so close to the Hellmouth, but surely a minute or two wouldn't hurt. Hopefully. He looked in through the classroom door's little window and took the absence of students to be a good sign. He pushed open the door to step inside, and was immediately struck by the sounds. Children, even when they were being quiet, made a noise, and a supposedly quiet classroom usually had a continual low hubbub or murmuring rustling cloth, the occasional dropped pencil, and the soft huff of frustration. Without that, the computer room had a sound all its own. The machines were switched on, idle but waiting. The gentle whir, multiplied a dozen times, put him in a mind of a buzzing insect nest, reminding him that this was not his world. He took a breath and tried to hide his discomfort. Jenny sat at her desk, the queen bee, perfectly placed to keep a watchful eye over her charges. She gave him a little wave, which he returned as he navigated his way over.
I have the camera.
He said.
And the photographs.
He laid the items on her table, fanning out the images.
We took 3 photographs, just to be sure you'd have a good one to work with. I don't really know which is the most suitable for purpose, I'm afraid.
Jenny smiled and spread the photographs on her desk for a better look. Any of these would be fine, but I'll use this one. It's got that cute but harmless vibe. Giles nodded.
Ah, yes. She's rather good at that.
He scooped up the other 2.
I'm going to destroy these then. Wouldn't want them falling into the wrong hands.
I shouldn't worry too much. They look like Halloween makeup or special effects for a student movie. That's actually quite funny. If somebody saw these, they'd just think she likes to dress up, which would make anybody think twice if they somehow saw the real thing.
Yes, perhaps you're right, but I think I'll err on the side of caution in this case.
In actual fact, he planned to file the photographs away for his records, along with a few pictures they took without the makeup, ostensibly to test the camera. Jenny raised a brow but didn't comment. I'll get this scanned in and photoshopped. It won't take long. The pool was empty, and the last few slightly damp kids were filing out of the changing rooms. Mickey lurked around the edge of the water until nobody was watching, and then quick switched into her swimsuit. She was about to dive in when the PE teacher, Miss Griggs, stalked out of the office and fixed her a steely glare. Aha! I thought I'd spotted you sneaking in here. She hesitated, her eyes flicking left and right. Where are your clothes? She asked. Left them at home? Mickey said, and immediately realized that this was the wrong answer. What? Shrieked the teacher. You can't walk around the school like that. Wait. You were dressed when you came in here. I saw you. That wasn't me, Mickey lied. Wow, Cordelia's right, she thought. I really am terrible at this. Miss Griggs was not amused. Wasn't you, huh? Who was it then? You got an identical twin? Yes? Mickey thought fast and pointed past the teacher to the far side of the pool. She's over there. Naturally, the woman looked, and of course there was nobody there. Mickey teleported out of sight and quickly swapped back into her clothes. Over here, she called, causing the teacher to turn around again and stare in amazement. She blinked, but quickly rallied. No swimming without supervision, she growled. But I'm not swimming. I only just got here. Yeah, well... The teacher turned back to the other girl, who of course wasn't there. Mickey sighed and used the distraction to teleport up onto the diving board. Miss Griggs found herself alone, talking to nobody. She turned slowly on the spot a couple of times, frustrated and bewildered, then ran out, most likely trying to chase after the girl. Or girls. Mickey felt bad about having to trick the teacher, even if she wasn't very nice. She just knew it was going to have repercussions. Hopefully when she ran around telling people Mickey had an identical twin, they'd just laugh at her, and she'd realize she was mistaken. A moment. Oh no, she grimaced. I hope Buffy and the others don't start thinking there's more than one of me. They'll totally freak out. After a few minutes, when it looked like the teacher wasn't coming back, Mickey changed back into her bikini and dropped into the water. Miss Griggs didn't come back to the pool, and Mickey enjoyed 15 minutes of uninterrupted swimming time before boredom set in and she decided to go back to the library. A powerful flap of her wings launched her up out of the water, and she changed her clothes in midair before teleporting to the exit. She paused for a second, wings still extended. That had felt good. The extra power she'd pulled in during the night felt like it was almost enough for her to fly. She'd need another big boost before she could actually zoom around, because fighting gravity used up way more magic than just punching stuff. One more night should do it. And the night after that. In fact, she could be in the library right now, topping up her power directly from the source. Giles was quietly updating his notes on the video recording when the star of the show, so to speak, wandered into the library, glancing this way and that. Having once been something of a troublemaker himself, Giles recognized the body language immediately. Mickey was up to no good. He cleared his throat and called out.
Miss Nichols, can I help you with something?
She gave him her brightest, sunniest smile. Oh, hello there. I was just looking for a book about science. He fixed her with a flat look.
Really?
He said, deadpan. She nodded. One with pictures, if you have it. With a groan, the librarian closed his books, then slid them away beneath the counter, before walking over to find a book for the devil girl. He could have directed her to the relevant reference section, but that would be futile. Then again, since the girl could barely read at all, what on earth was she up to?
Can I ask why you want a book on science?
So I can learn stuff. Unless you want to show me some more sword fighting moves.
No, I don't think so. Not during school hours.
Right, didn't think so. The girl suddenly stopped. Wait, I just thought of something. Giles stopped halfway up the steps.
Yes?
Does this world have storybooks? Like adventures and stuff? He blinked.
Of course. The majority of printed books are fiction. That is, adventures and stuff.
He frowned.
Why? I thought you were seeking knowledge.
I want to know how this world works. And I was thinking science books would have the best stuff, because science guys are the smartest, like wizards.
That makes sense. But then you changed your mind?
I thought I could maybe learn more about the people and how they think from some stories.
I see. Well, I'll find you something suitable. You may find some of the subject matter confusing.
I'm used to that.
Come along then. Let's go find you a story.
Mickey smiled. She did her best, really she did. But the book was boring and the story, well, nothing was happening. She'd read through 3 whole pages and still didn't know what the story was about, who they were supposed to fight, or anything. The picture on the front had schoolgirls on it, like she was pretending to be, but nothing in the text felt familiar. She turned the book around and found some words on the back. Aha! Ingredients! She squinted, tracing each word as she picked her way over the text. As she thought, the writing on the back was a story about the story. Once she read that, she'd know what the big story had in it. Everyday life? Trials and tribulations? Trials and tribulations! Right, that's an intentional Mickeyism. Losing a best friend? She could understand that one at least. She had lost quite a few friends over the years. The mini-story promised a happy ending, but made it all sound really depressing and miserable. This wasn't an adventure. This book was no fun at all. She was just about to storm over and complain, when she remembered that the book was just an excuse to spend time in the library so she could soak up more magical energy. Nuts. If she wanted more power, she was stuck here with a stupid, boring book. Maybe there was some interesting stuff later on? She knew it was technically cheating, but she flicked through the book and chose a page at random, somewhere near the middle, and began to read. As she worked haltingly through the text, her eyes grew wider and wider. Hey, there's hugging in this story, and kissing, and booby squeezing. Stupid book people. Why didn't they put that on the ingredients? Now she at least knew there was something to look forward to. She went back to the beginning of the book and started reading it properly. So did you have a particular title in mind when you added this book to the story?
No, it's just a book with some schoolgirls on the front.
Okay. Okay.
It's like, okay, there you go. That's what you're looking for. It's not what Giles thinks she's looking for.
Use this as real. You're being startled by books having booby squeezing that you weren't expecting to have booby squeezing in them? Is this a kissing book? Wait, what?
Really love the idea of a blurb being ingredients for a book.
Yeah. I'm sure
Absolute Mickey logic.
Keeping it should be in the ingredients. So yeah. That's gonna enter your vocabulary. Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of like maybe like looking at like TV tropes. That's sort of like the ingredients of a story or a video game or whatever. Keeping a watchful eye from his position at the counter, Giles noticed the sudden change in Mickey's behavior, but couldn't quite explain it. She'd been growing gradually more and more frustrated with the book, but now she was reading it intently, brows knit in concentration. Her intensity was a little disconcerting, and he wasn't sure what it meant. Before he could ask, the library doors swung open and Jenny Calendar wandered in, a strip of glossy paper between her fingers. Mickey, engrossed in the book, paid no attention. Giles stood and offered Jenny a smile as she approached.
Riveting read, apparently.
He said dryly by way of explanation. So I see. What is it?
I don't recall. Something innocuous from the young adult fiction.
Jenny smirked. Not Harry Potter, I hope. Giles coughed, and she smirked at his reaction.
Oh, God.
He muttered, aghast.
Can you imagine? The questions.
He took a steadying breath and regained his composure.
She wanted to learn about how people normally do things in our society, so I tried to choose something that didn't have spies or ghosts or magic or serial killers.
He blinked.
I actually expected her to tire of it rather quickly. Instead, I think she'll be wanting to keep hold of it.
A good time to get her a library card, then, huh? She laid her hand on the counter and revealed a strip of 4 passport-style photographs. Each depicted a cute girl with dark hair and dark eyes. No horns, no wings, no pointy ears. Normal. Human. Counting that as Giles and this lady being trans allies. Yeah, I don't think it really came up in the show, but I would believe it. I mean, Giles might be clueless about gender things, but I can at least imagine that Jenny would be all for it.
Giles had a rebellious youth. I'm sure there'd have been some dabbling of some kind.
Sure. Yeah, he had kind of a rocker aesthetic, that, so...
You know, you do what you do. It's just a laugh, isn't it?
Yeah.
No harm in it.
Giles picked up the photographs and smiled, pleasantly surprised.
Oh, these are excellent. I'll have to get one down to the administration office immediately.
Jenny smirked and revealed the library card in her other hand. Already done. Just needs a signature. She paused. Wait, she can write a signature, right?
She has a distinctive style, but yes, she can write her name well enough. I must say, I was expecting a substantial wait to get that printed.
Oh, is Giles by? Okay, yeah. more, more sort of androgynous rocker classic. Okay. Jenny shrugged. Mickey's popular, I guess. Plus, she's Snyder's favorite somehow, so anything she needs is treated like a command from on high. She leaned closer. You're absolutely sure she hasn't charmed the little troll? Giles shook his head.
I think the respect is genuine and mutual.
He took the card and called Mickey over.
Mikisha, could you come over here for a moment?
His dislike of Ethan has more than a moral basis. That was big I'm pissed off at my ex energy.
Yeah, I get that.
No, I'm just wondering if they had anything, any boy-to-boy smooches in the comics or something in the extended universe.
Little
Well,
look.
we did hear that Buffy was involved with a girl somewhere later in the storyline, I think. Mickey blinked and looked around before glancing his way. He beckoned and she walked over to the counter, book in hand. Hi, Miss Calendar. Good morning, Mickey. Good book? Yeah, I think so. I don't read very fast, so I haven't got to the good bits yet, but I'm working on it. Giles slid the card over and handed the girl a pen.
This is your library card. If you want to take a book out of the library, you'll need to use this card. That way, we know who has it.
Mickey frowned at the card. It's magic?
No, It has your name on it and a number. All that's missing is your signature,
He gestured to the empty space.
if you'd be so kind.
Oh, sure, cool. She took the pen and scratched a rough approximation of her name into the plastic. Is that okay? Giles winced but tilted his head.
I imagine it'll be fine. Certainly not the least legible I've seen.
Besides, nobody really actually looks at signatures, as I have discovered as I've started signing my, my chosen name, my use name, and even though it's nowhere near my legal name anymore. So that's it? The card is done?
Yes,
So I can keep this book now? Forever?
for 3 weeks.
He corrected her gently. At the speed she read, it would probably take her longer than that to reach the end. But by the same measure, she had no real idea how long 3 weeks was, so she probably wouldn't complain.
After 3 weeks, if you still want it, bring it back here, and I can renew it for another 3.
Oh, you've just been using an upside-down anarchy symbol for the past 15 years. Damn. Yeah, the problem is more that, I get in the habit of just using my chosen name, and then I end up using it in a context where it actually is inconvenient or a problem for it not to be my legal name. I've got to make a call to somebody this coming week to have them reprint some tax paperwork with the correct name on it because I gave them the wrong one. She nodded, eyes wary, like she was waiting for the catch.
That's it.
He assured her.
You can borrow the book for free, so long as we know who has it.
But you know who's got it. Me.
Yes, but there's a system. It's a rule. We have to use the card.
Oh. Mickey understood rules. She may not always follow them, but she knew they were important. The bell chose that moment to ring, and Mickey zoomed away without another word. The two adults watched the doors swing closed behind her.
Ah, to be young and impetuous.
Giles sighed. Jenny raised her brow at him. When you chose that book, did you look at the cover?
I seldom judge books by their covers, especially modern fiction. Why?
I'm fairly sure the two main female characters are romantically attached. Giles stared at the library doors.
Well, with any luck, she'll tire of the book before she gets that far. Unless... Oh.
He recalled her sudden interest and quickly removed his glasses for some nervous polishing.
Oh dear.
Mickey wasn't entirely sure which classroom the physics lesson would be in, but she'd seen a few classrooms that looked like mad science labs, and figured that would be the best place to look for Willow and the others. Success! She spotted the three of them being jostled along with the other kids as they filed. That was just me. I mean, either word works, but as they filed from one classroom to another. Being small and nimble, Mickey was able to weave her way around and through most of the crowd, using her strength to gently shove people aside when she had to, until she reached her friends. Hey guys, she said cheerfully. Physics was not exactly what she had expected. And like the math class the other day, she was sure she was missing something important. The teacher drew what looked like magic spells on the board with a marker, presumably a magic marker, and tried to explain how the numbers and symbols controlled the movement of a ball coming out of a cannon. It all sounded very clever, but it didn't quite make sense. Just as with the triangles, if you wanted to know what was going to happen, just wait and see. Cannonballs weren't exactly slow. The teacher noticed her confused expression and came over to her table.
Is something wrong, Mikisha?
he asked, not unkindly. She tilted her head. It's probably just me, but why do you need all these symbols and things? What do they do? Some of the kids laughed, albeit quietly, and the teacher smiled.
They let us know things about the world around us.
But we already knew things about the world around us. Ball goes up, ball comes down.
Ah, but where?
Mickey blinked. Depends where you aimed it.
But how did you aim it? When you let go of the ball, how do you know where it's going to go?
She hesitated. This felt like a trick question somehow, but she couldn't see the trap. You just know. To her surprise, he nodded.
Exactly. But centuries ago, scientists wanted a better answer than that.
Why?
Imagine you wanted to fire a ball out of a cannon to reach as far as possible. What angle would you aim it?
I don't know. Up a bit. I'd test it and see.
Using these formulae, we can determine which angle will give us the best distance. We can predict how high the ball will fly and how far. We can calculate exactly how fast it will be traveling when it lands.
It's a cannonball. It lands very fast and hits very hard.
Okay. Imagine we're building a rocket to go into space. We need it to fly up to a particular distance, deploy a satellite, and then come back down.
He waited to let her think about it.
We can't afford trial and error. Rockets are expensive. And what if there are human pilots on board?
Make it so it can fly further than you need. The pilot can stop when it gets high enough. That seemed obvious, right? Always prepare for a harder job than you expect.
But this is a new rocket, untested. We don't know how far it can go. Yet.
Oh, that was a problem. If you made it bigger, it should go further. But that was a numbers thing, and her brain didn't want to play.
The laws of physics let us simulate the world using numbers. We can work out how much thrust our rocket will need, how much it will weigh, how high it will go. We will know everything about the mission before we even begin building it.
Mickey frowned. You can figure out stuff just because you know what it is and what it does. Because it's all got rules.
Yes, we can build a tower that will withstand an earthquake, but we can't wait for an earthquake to test it. We use our scientific knowledge instead.
The imp gasped as the implications came crashing in. You can use science and numbers to see the future. I guess. Yeah, that's a way of, it is a way of putting it.
Science is magic.
Yeah.
And
Sufficiently
magic is
advanced,
science.
etc., etc. All right. So that
Any
was...
sufficiently advanced magic is indistinguishable from science.
Or
I mean, if you're just waving a stick around and saying words, well, yeah, blah. But advanced magic with symbols and stuff, it looks like science.
Or the aphorism that we came up with. A sufficiently advanced roleplay is indistinguishable from plurality.
right. All right. I think that's where I'm going to draw down. My eyes are feeling a little wobbly, which is part of why I keep mispronouncing or stumbling over things, I think. But that was for like a 2-hour stream. We got through a whole 4 chapters.
Yeah, that was good.
Pretty good pace. Even though I did do some yapping at the beginning. So next time is Tell Us Everything, chapter 65.
Ooh, there we go. Meanwhile, Mergon welcomes a new threat.
Ah, there we go. We run short on boss monsters. We need to import one. Science is just the study of something. Technology is the use of tools. Things like language and math are technology. Yes. Yeah, I mean, any civilization builder video game, I'll tell you that. You gotta unlock the language tree and the math tree. Yeah, make me want to play some Endless again, or some X Pirates. Anyway,
There's a baddie coming up in the next chapter who was recycled from the Galaxy Core stories, and I've used him as a monster.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Grux Caprodile is now a member of the Trine.
Oh, fun. Okay, looking forward to that. Yeah, Grux was the sort of a plant monster, right? Or
No, but that was large.
that was large. That was large.
Grux is a big armor-plated dude who doesn't really have a face. He's just got a big plate of armor.
Okay. Oh, you see.
We do get a great line when Mickey's fighting him as well.
All right. Nice.
Yeah, it's like, he's indestructible. He's like a big giant bug juggernaut. And then she just stops and goes, a buggernaut.
Oh, no. Yuzu, you're a fan of the Endless games? Yeah, I played a ton of Endless Legend and a little bit of Endless Space and Endless Space 2. I got far enough to roll credits on Dungeon of the Endless. There's a couple more of them that I haven't tried, though. They are working on Endless Legend 2, though, which I'm excited about.
It seems grammatically challenging. Has the first legend ended in order for there to be a second Endless Legend?
No, it's just this. They just run in parallel, I guess. They just both keep going. Buggernot. The Frignot. Frignot?
That sounds like alert your fingers.
Inspired by Final Fantasy. Oh, yes. Yes, Final Fantasy 16 that we're on now. Yeah. All right. So we've got our preview for next time. Any obstacles to us doing this again next week?
Nothing I'm aware of.
All right, awesome. Frignot is a ship class. It's a hybrid of Dreadnought and Frigate. Frignot. Dreadgate.
Yeah, that doesn't work, does it?
Sounds like a scandal about some horror thing.
I create portmanteaus all the time. I just can't help it. I always smush my words together.
Oh, it's actually a real thing. Funny. I'll have to look that up. Alright, I'm gonna go close my eyes for an hour or so that I can focus on Magic the Gathering cards. So I will see you all next week. We've struggled to get the Nier Automata streams together midweek, but who knows, that might happen again. Keep an eye on the socials or the Discord to see when that's happening. Until then, my friends, live with honor, and your heart is unassailable. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Directly from the Paranoia Handbook. Stay alert. Trust no one.
Keep your laser handy. Yes.
Yes.
Let me go, there's no doubt. Gotta get out of this small town. You took my heart from me. Now you're everywhere I see. Set me free, let me fly. Let me find new kinds of highs. We're just wasting here, waiting for another year. We both know the score. We've been here once before. So many words unspoken. You took my heart, it's already broken. You don't have to wait. I can take the pain. I will surrender. Let me go on a new adventure. adventure. On a new adventure. It's my time, watch me build another life. Find another space, explore the world and find my place. Hope you find some peace of mind. Hope the night was worth your time. Threw my heart away, we won't see another day. We both know the score, we've been here once before. So many words unspoken, you took my heart, it's already broken. You don't have to wait, I can take the pain. I will surrender, let me go. It's a new adventure. On a new adventure. On a new adventure.